Hello friends, this video on gravitation part 10 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So till now we spoke about the pressure in solids. We were considering all solid objects. Now let us look at the scenario for fluids. How does the pressure look like in case of fluids? So even fluids have weight and they also exert pressure on walls and base of the container on which they are present. Let us suppose if there is a glass which contains water, so that water has got some weight, right? It is not weightless. Whether it is water or juice or some other liquid, they are not weightless. They also do have weight. So anything which has weight, that means they have some thrust acting on it. So if thrust is there, pressure will be there. So fluids will also have weight and therefore they will exert pressure. But where will they exert pressure? They will exert pressure on the base and walls of the container. That means let us suppose if this is a container with the fluid, so it will exert pressure on the base, it will exert pressure on the walls of the container. Right? Okay. So when I talk of fluids, it becomes important to introduce buoyancy. What is buoyancy? Buoyancy is an important concept which governs the floating and sinking of objects in fluids. You would have seen that there appears to be certain objects which tend to float on water, whereas there are certain objects which tend to sink in water. So why is it that certain objects float whereas certain other objects sink? So this difference of floating and sinking is because of the concept of buoyancy. So now we will talk about buoyancy. So before that, just look at this example. Have you ever seen that if you throw a stone in a bowl containing water, what happens? The stone sinks and goes and reaches the bottom of the container. But if you take a plastic bottle with its mouth closed, with its cap closed, and throw it on the water, it will float on the water. So what is the difference between the plastic bottle and the stone that made one to sink and another one to float? So we will talk about this concept in the fluids part. So first we will talk about buoyancy. So let us see what is buoyancy. Buoyancy is the upward force exerted by water on an object. So whenever an object is put on inside water, whether the object will sink or the object will float, that depends upon the force which is exerted by the water. So the water will exert an upward force on that object, and that upward force is known as buoyancy. So it is also known as buoyant force or upthrust. Upthrust because it is a thrust which is acting in the upward direction by water. So it is also known as upthrust or buoyant force. So any object immersed in a fluid experiences buoyancy. So this word buoyancy comes into picture only when an object is immersed in a fluid. It doesn't come into play for solid objects, or it doesn't come into play only for a liquid in a vessel. So only when one object is being immersed in a fluid, only then that object will experience buoyancy. So buoyancy depends on density of the fluid. So the magnitude of the buoyant force, how much buoyant force will be exerted by the liquid, depends upon the density of the fluid. So density plays a critical role in determining buoyancy, and that is why density also plays a very important role in determining whether an object will sink or float in water. So let us quickly talk about density. What is density? Density is mass per unit volume. So the SI unit is kg per meter cube. So when I talk of density, density is mass per unit volume. For example, we often use this term density in case of population also. We say that the population density of this state is very high. What do we mean? We mean that number of people living in an area. Let us suppose there is an area in which some 100 people live in an area of, say, 100 meters square. Okay, so and in another case we say that some 1 people live in the same area. So which will have a greater density? So the density will be more in the first case because more number of people are living in the same area. So similarly here density is mass per unit volume. So in a volume of say x meter cube, how much mass is contained. So if more mass is contained, we say density is more. If less mass is contained, we say density is less. So the SI unit is kg per meter cube. Density is different for different substances, but every substance has a specific density which does not change as such. But now if you heat that substance or if you make some external changes, then it will change. But as under normal or general conditions, the density of a substance is a characteristic to that substance and it will not change. Density helps to find purity of a substance. For example, let us suppose, now here we have taken example of water, silver and gold. When I talk of water, density of water is 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. For silver, the density of silver is 10.8 into 10 to the power kg per meter cube. For gold, the density is 1.93 into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. So now if you know the density of gold, you can determine, let us suppose somebody has got some other object and told you that it is gold. So you can find out the density of that object, and if the density is the same as the density of gold, then you can determine, you can thus verify that okay, this is pure. Right? So this was all about density. So now let us talk about relative density, because relative density is another term which is often used, which is a comparative term. Now defining densities of every object becomes very cumbersome because the density values are big and you need to remember all density values of so many objects. So what is done is water is taken as a reference to define the density of a substance. So we consider water as the reference. Water is my base. So now I say relative density is the ratio of density of a substance to the density of water. So density of water is my reference. Now I give a number. So now I don't say 19.3 into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. I just say relative density of gold is 19.3. So now writing 19.3 is simpler and easier than writing 19.3 into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. Right? So relative density is a comparative density with water. So the ratio of density of a substance to the density of water. So relative density is equal to density of the substance by density of water. Now since it is a ratio of two densities, therefore it does not have any unit because both the units will cancel out. So it is a unitless quantity. Right? So now I think you can find out the relative density of each of them. Ratio of the density of substance to density of water. So what will be the relative density of water? It will be 1, because this will be equal to density of water by density of water, that is 1. Now please find out relative density of silver and gold on your own. So now that we know what is density, we can try to understand how is buoyancy related to density. As I said, as the density of the fluid changes, the buoyant force that will be applied or that will be exerted by the fluid will also change. So higher the density of the fluid, higher the object floats over it. So that means the greater the density of the fluid, the greater is the buoyant force it will apply on that object, because buoyant force is the upward force. So now greater the upward force applied on the object, the higher the object will float over it. So buoyant force is directly proportional to the density of the fluid. So now let us try to understand the principle of flotation. Why do some objects float while some other objects sink? Now for any of the objects, whether you consider this bottle or you consider the stone, there are two forces which act on the object. One is the gravitational pull, which act downwards, and the second one is the upthrust or the buoyant force, which act upwards. So these are the two forces which will be acting on any of these objects. Now when I consider this bottle, what happens in case of this bottle? The density of this bottle is less. Now let us suppose I compare both the things. This is the bottle and here is the stone. Now in case of bottle, the density of the bottle is less, right? But the density of the stone is Greater. Why the density of the stone is greater? Because the stone is more denser. The bottle is all hollow from inside. So the mass of the bottle is also less. Now if the mass is less, your density will also be less. In case of stone, it is completely dense inside. It is not hollow. So the density of the stone is higher. Density of the bottle is lesser. Now if the density is lesser, the density of the bottle is lesser. So the density of the bottle is lesser compared, now this water or this fluid also has a density, right? Now density of the bottle is lesser than the density of the fluid. So when you consider the case of the bottle, the density of the fluid is more. Now in the previous slide we saw that the density of the fluid is more means it will exert more buoyant force, because the density of the fluid is directly proportional to the buoyant force. So therefore in this case, the up thrust or the buoyant force will be more. But in case of the stone, the density of the stone is very high. So comparatively, the density of the water or the density of the fluid is less. Now density of the fluid is less means the up thrust is also less. Correct? So that means in case of the bottle, there are two forces. One is the up thrust and one is the gravitational pull. But in case of the bottle, the up thrust dominates. The up thrust is more. So this up thrust dominates. That means the upward force dominates. Therefore, the bottle goes up. But in case of the stone, the gravitational pull dominates. And therefore, the stone goes down. That means it is like you have two forces acting. One is the gravitational pull and the other one in the up thrust. So one of them will win. Whichever wins, the object will go in that direction. So in the case of the bottle, the up thrust wins. So up thrust is in the upward direction, so the bottle goes in the upward direction. In case of the stone, the gravitational pull wins. So it is in the downward direction, so the stone goes downward direction. So this is the principle of flotation. So whether an object will float or it will sink, it depends on the density of the object and the density of the fluid. Because in this case, the fluid was water. It is not necessary that every time the fluid will be water. So it not only depends on density of the fluid, but it also depends on the density of the object. The only thing to remember is that if the density of the fluid is more compared to the object, then the buoyant force given by the fluid will also be more. So what is the conclusion of this? Objects of density less than that of the liquid float on the liquid, whereas objects of density more than that of the liquid will sink in the liquid. So these are the two important points to be remembered. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.